Joining me on the news to discuss this is an international analyst, Bolu Michael-Biyi. Hello, Bolu. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you.
So how will concerns about President Biden's health and mental acuity affect his ability to lead NATO's response to the crisis in Ukraine?
Well, if the NATO member states perceive President Biden to not be of sound mind or in good health, I think they might doubt his leadership of not just the summit, but the entire organization, the NATO itself. And that weakens his influence and also the influence of the United States as a country. And they might begin to look elsewhere as regards the country that should take the lead in terms of decision making or even just coordinating the responses to against Russia or towards commitments to Ukraine, because it was founded in 1949. I think Canada and 11 other countries. So they might be looking at those countries to overtake the United States in taking that role.
Well, you did say that if he is perceived as weak, but then is there even an ounce of possibility that, Biden's leadership at the NATO summit would inspire unity and support for Ukraine among member states? Or do you think that it would inadvertently, create divisions?
Well, it depends on how President Biden now conducts himself at the summit. If he comes across as a strong, decisive leader of clear mind and, and good spirit, and is able to come up with new ideas and set the direction for the summit and other member states, then that may inspire other member states to be fully committed to NATO, and if the opposite, if the reverse is the case, if it's coming across as weak, he's not able to coordinate himself or articulate himself, or it's not bringing anything new to the table, it may actually influence other member states, and they might doubt if they should proceed in committing further to the organization or even contributing towards Ukraine against Russia.
All right, Bolu, now given President Biden's long-standing support for a stronger NATO, so many questions are actually being asked. How will his current political struggles impact the alliance's future growth and direction, especially with new members like Sweden and Finland?
First, I think it may, if the U.S. is perceived as weak in terms of leadership and things that they're not having their house together. I know in countries as good as how coordinated they are locally. If they see that, okay, U.S. does not have the house together, then how would they be able to lead 32 or so other countries? And that may influence, the addition of new members or even further commitments to the group, to the organization. But I don't think the member states have much to worry about. I also don't think that, an issue, politicians' personal challenges at home will be a part of the agenda of a NATO summit. But in case that happens, I don't think they don't have anything to fear, because if President Biden doesn't win the election and Trump becomes president, both of them, at least they share that common vision of having a strong defense, and NATO is central to that objective.
Well, Bolu, just before we let you go, let's reconnect or track back to President Biden's debate performance and its impact on his re-election bid. How would you say, or how do you think that NATO allies can actually ensure that their partnership remains strong and stable despite these domestic political uncertainties?
Well, the NATO member states have to start thinking outside the box to ensure as much as possible that in case of any domestic challenge of not only the United States, but any member states, they'll be able to, still remain stable. And they can do that by, individually committing afresh to the NATO agenda, the mission, the goals and objectives, by increasing their bilateral relationship among member states, and also fostering dialogue so that they can have a common voice independent of the United States, and this way they can maintain long-term stability of NATO.
All right, well, thank you so much, Bolu, for your time and also for speaking to us on this.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.